and you will be what you think about all day long. This phrase from Proverbs 23 verse 7 is not just ancient wisdom, it's proven science. Napoleon Hill discovered in Think and Grow Rich that all fortune begins with a thought. Neville Goddard proved that imagination is the greatest creative power in the universe. And you are using that power right now. The question is, are you creating the life you want or repeating what you don't want? Do you know that bill that's stuck in your head? That relationship you imagine will fail? That opportunity you already see yourself losing before even trying? You're using the most powerful force in the universe against yourself. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact technique that transformed beggars into millionaires, the sick into the cured, and failures into winners, and how you can apply it in the next 5 minutes. In the next few minutes you will understand how to reprogram your subconscious mind, master the law of assumption, and create real results using only your imagination. This is not theory, it's the method that has changed millions of lives and that the Bible teaches in Mark 11 verse 24. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Get ready, because your life can change today. Imagination is not fantasy, it's the laboratory where your future is built before it materializes. While most people see imagination as daydreaming or escapism, history's great achievers understood its true nature. It is the invisible mold that shapes physical reality. Albert Einstein said that imagination is more important than knowledge, because knowledge tells you what exists, but imagination creates what does not yet exist. At this very moment, your mind is projecting the movie of your life, and you are the director, screenwriter, and leading actor. Neville Goddard taught that living in the desired end is the secret of all manifestation. This means that when you imagine with feeling, with the real sensation that you have already achieved your goal, your subconscious does not distinguish between the imagined and the real. It accepts it as a fait accompli and begins to reorganize all your external reality to correspond to the internal image. This is why Proverbs 29 verse 18 warns, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Without a clear image of your destiny, you navigate without a compass, at the mercy of external circumstances. The problem is that most people use this creative force unconsciously and destructively. They imagine what they fear more intensely than what they desire. They spend hours mentally rehearsing difficult conversations, visualizing unpaid bills, anticipating rejections. And then they wonder why these things keep happening. Job 3 verse 25 captures this tragedy perfectly. What I feared has come upon me, what I dreaded has happened to me. Your imagination is neutral, it materializes what you feed it, whether positive or negative. Napoleon Hill documented in his 20 years of research with the wealthiest men in America that they all had one thing in common: a crystal clear mental image of what they wanted, held with unwavering faith until it manifested. Andrew Carnegie imagined himself as a steel magnate when he was still a poor immigrant. Henry Ford envisioned his automobiles on the streets before building a single factory. They didn't wait for perfect conditions, they used their imagination to create them. Faith, as Hebrews 11 verse 1 says, is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Imagination is the instrument of this faith. You need to understand something crucial: your current life is the exact result of the mental images you've held in the past. If you don't like what you see around you, the good news is that you can change everything by changing your internal images. Romans 12 verse 2 instructs, Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's not about forcing external changes, it's about rebuilding the inner theater of your mind. When you master your imagination, you master your destiny. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, step by step, starting now. The technique that has separated winners from dreamers throughout history has a name: controlled assumption. Neville Goddard called it living in a desired state. Napoleon Hill described it as applied faith, and the Bible summarizes it in Mark 11 verse 24. Believe that you have already received it. It's not about repeating empty affirmations or making wish lists. It's about consciously entering the feeling of accomplishment, mentally inhabiting the desired end as if it were a present fact. When you close your eyes and imagine your life transformed, your brain releases the same neurotransmitters it would release if it were real now. Your subconscious begins to work 24 hours a day to turn your internal vision into an external experience. Here's the fatal mistake 99% of people make. They imagine the process, not the result. They imagine themselves struggling to earn money, striving to win a relationship, battling to achieve success. And that's exactly what they get: more struggle, more effort, more battle. Disciplined imagination skips all the how and goes straight to the done. You don't imagine the seed growing, you imagine harvesting the ripe fruit. You don't visualize the difficult journey, you feel yourself at the destination celebrating the victory. As Philippians 4 verse 8 says, fix your thoughts on what is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. Your subconscious mind will find the means when you give it the end. Let me be absolutely clear about something that can change your life today. Imagination doesn't need permission from current reality. You can be in debt and imagine yourself financially free. You can be alone and feel the embrace of true love. You can be sick and experience the sensation of vibrant health. Three-dimensional reality is slow, dense, resistant, but imaginative reality is instantaneous, fluid, infinitely malleable. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 18 reveals this secret. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. The invisible always precedes and creates the visible. Always. Modern science has finally achieved what mystics have always known. Neuroplasticity studies show that the brain does not distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real experiences. It forms the same neural connections. Olympic athletes use visualization not as a supplement, but as primary training. Cancer patients who imagine healthy cells destroying diseased cells show significantly higher recovery rates. Business people who mentally rehearse successful negotiations close more deals. This is not superficial positive thinking, it is profound neurological reprogramming. As it is written in Genesis 1 verse 3, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. The word, the expressed thought, precedes the manifestation. Now pay attention, because here's the part most people never understand. Persistence and assumption is everything. You don't imagine it once and expect an instant miracle. You inhabit the desired state daily until it becomes more real to you than your present circumstances. You repeatedly return to the mental scene of your fulfilled desire until your subconscious accepts it as identity, not as a goal. When that happens, external change is inevitable. Galatians 6 verse 9 promises, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." The harvest is guaranteed for those who consistently sow in the fertile ground of disciplined imagination. I'm going to teach you now the exact exercise you should do tonight, before you go to sleep. The most powerful exercise you can do is called implication of realization, and it works because it taps into your mind's most suggestible moment, those precious minutes before falling asleep. Neville Goddard insisted that the last thought before sleep is the seed planted directly in the subconscious, without resistance from the critical conscious mind. It is in this drowsy state that your mind is most receptive, most malleable, most connected to the creative source. Proverbs 4 verse 23 warns, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." And there is no more critical time to guard your thoughts than in the transition between wakefulness and sleep, when the doors of the subconscious are wide open. Here's what you're going to do tonight. Lie down comfortably, close your eyes, and construct a simple scene, not a long movie, but a single moment that implies your wish has already been fulfilled. If you want financial prosperity, don't imagine millions of reis. Imagine the bank manager greeting you respectfully while discussing your investments. If you want a relationship, don't imagine the whole wedding. Imagine the feeling of the person's hand intertwined with yours as you walk together. If you want professional success, imagine receiving genuine congratulations from someone you respect. The scene should be short, specific, and full of real feeling. As Jesus taught in Matthew 21 verse 22, "And whatever you ask in prayer, if you believe, you will receive." Now comes the crucial part that separates casual practitioners from master manifestors. You mentally replay this scene, with every possible sensory detail, until you fall asleep within it. You feel the texture, hear the sounds, perceive the emotions, experience its reality. If your mind wanders to worries or doubts, you gently bring it back to the scene. Not with effort, but with loving persistence. You fall asleep inhabiting that desired reality. When you do this consistently for 30 days, you will witness changes that people will call coincidence, luck, or a miracle. But you will know the truth. It was your disciplined imagination shaping the invisible substance from which all reality emerges. Psalm 127 verse 2 confirms, "He grants sleep to those he loves," and in sleep, without the interference of the doubting ego, the seeds germinate. But there is one obstacle that trips up almost everyone: the evidence of the senses. You will imagine prosperity at night and wake up with bills in the morning. You will visualize health and feel pain in your body. You will assume success and face rejection the next day. Here is the litmus test of your faith. Do you remain faithful to the inner vision, or do you bow to the tyranny of outward appearances? 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7 declares, "We live by faith, not by sight." Current circumstances are the fruit of old seeds. They have no power over the new seeds you are planting now. Three-dimensional reality is always the delayed echo of imaginative reality. When you understand this viscerally, nothing can shake your persistence. There's a reason why so many give up before manifestation. They treat imagination as a technique, not as a life principle. They practice when they remember, doubt when things get difficult, and abandon when they don't see immediate results. But those who succeed are those who transform disciplined imagination into identity. They don't visualize, they live from the desired end. Every decision, every word, every action flows from the assumption that they already are what they desire to be. As Paul wrote in Romans 4 verse 17, God calls into existence things that do not exist as though they did. When you adopt this divine mindset, you stop begging the universe and begin to decree your reality. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to avoid the 3 fatal traps that sabotage even the most dedicated imaginers. The first fatal trap is contaminated imagination, and it's destroying your results without you even realizing it. You spend 5 minutes imagining prosperity before bed, but 5 hours during the day complaining about bills, talking about financial difficulties, mentally confirming your lack of resources. It's like planting rose seeds in the morning and poisoning the soil in the afternoon. James 3 verse 11 asks, "Can both fresh water and salt water flow from the same spring?" Your imagination needs to be consistent. Every time you say, "I don't have money," "I never succeed," "It's difficult for me," you are imagining and decreeing the opposite of what you desire. The solution is not to forcefully suppress negative thoughts, but to immediately replace them with the desired vision. When doubt arises, and it will, you take a deep breath and mentally return to your scene of achievement. The second trap is what I call spiritual begging, when you imagine from a place of need instead of abundance. There's a brutal energetic difference between imagining because you desperately need something and imagining because you're celebrating something that's already yours. The vibration of lack attracts more lack. The vibration of gratitude attracts more reasons for gratitude. That's why Jesus, before multiplying the loaves, gave thanks. He thanked God for the miracle before seeing it materialized. Philippians 4 verse 6 instructs, "In everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Thanksgiving is not a consequence of the blessing, it's its cause. When you imagine with gratitude, as one who has already received, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. When you imagine with despair, you confirm the absence. The third trap, and perhaps the cruelest, is conditioning your happiness on external manifestation. You place all your peace, all your joy, all your self-esteem on the scale of when that happens. And so you live in perpetual postponement, always one result away from happiness. But here is the liberating truth: the feeling of fulfillment must come first, not later. You will not be happy when you get what you want. You will get what you want when you decide to be happy now. Luke 17 verse 21 reveals, "The kingdom of God is within you." Fullness is not a future destination, it is a present state that you choose to inhabit. When you feel prosperous now, with what you have, prosperity flows. When you feel loved now, even alone, love appears. The external always reflects the internal, never the other way around. Now let me tell you something few masters dare to say. There will be a period of death of the old self that will seem like chaos. When you consistently change your mental images, your external reality needs to reorganize itself to match. This may mean that situations, relationships, and circumstances that were aligned with your old identity need to collapse to make room for the new. You may lose the job you complained about to make way for the opportunity you desired. Toxic relationships may end so that true love can arrive. This is not a failure of the technique, it is evidence that it is working. As it is written in Revelation 21 verse 5, "Behold, I make all things new." The new cannot occupy the space of the old without the old being removed. Trust the process, even when it seems like everything is falling apart. And here's the final key that unlocks everything. You need to imagine for yourself, not to prove something to others. How many people want wealth to impress those who belittled them? How many seek success to validate their worth in the eyes of critical parents? How many desire the perfect body to provoke envy? This is imagination contaminated by wounded ego, and it never produces lasting satisfaction even when it manifests temporary results. Galatians 1 verse 10 asks, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings, or of God?" When you imagine from your deepest truth, from what genuinely resonates with your soul, the universe conspires with surprising speed. But when you imagine to fill ego voids or heal wounds of rejection, you chase mirages in the desert. Imagine what would make you feel fulfilled and at peace, not what would make others approve of you. That's the difference between powerful manifestation and empty pursuit. There is an advanced level of imagination that transforms practitioners into masters, the ability to imagine for others without a personal agenda. Neville Goddard told the story of how he healed people, transformed other people's careers, and saved relationships simply by imagining their well-being before going to sleep. When you imagine prosperity for someone who owes you money, instead of imagining collecting the debt, something extraordinary happens. Abundance flows in unexpected ways and the debt resolves itself naturally. When you imagine happiness for someone who has hurt you, instead of revenge, you free yourself from the energetic chains that bound you to that person. Matthew 5 verse 44 commands, "Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." This is not sentimental moralism, it is advanced spiritual technology. By imagining the good of others, you expand your consciousness beyond the limitations of the separate ego and access universal creative power. Here's something that might seem counterintuitive, but contains profound wisdom. The more specific your desire, the more flexible you should be in its form. Do you want a romantic relationship? Don't obsessively imagine a specific person who might not be your ideal partner. Imagine the feeling of being deeply loved. Do you want an exact amount of money? Don't rigidly fix on the source. Imagine the feeling of financial freedom. The universe has a greater imagination than yours and often delivers something better than you could ever specify. Ephesians 3 verse 20 promises that God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. Your task is to define the desired state: prosperous, loved, healthy, fulfilled. The universe takes care of the details. When you try to micromanage every aspect, you limit the infinite possibilities to a single narrow door. The daily practice of disciplined imagination also requires what I call mental fasting, conscious periods in which you abstain from consuming mental garbage. How many hours a day do you spend feeding your imagination with catastrophic news, social media dramas, toxic gossip, and violent entertainment? Your imagination is like a garden. What you plant is what you harvest. If you spend all day consuming content of scarcity, fear, conflict, and tragedy, how do you expect to reap abundance, peace, and joy? Philippians 4 verse 8 is not a suggestion, it's an operating instruction. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Try a 7-day experiment. Eliminate negative news, toxic social media, and complaining conversations. Fill that space with inspiring content, uplifting music, and contemplative silence. Observe how your reality begins to change. There is also a forgotten principle that exponentially enhances your results: imagination in favor of the collective. When you imagine not only your prosperity, but the upliftment of your community, not only your healing, but the well-being of those who suffer, not only your success, but the victory of everyone around you, you align your individual will with the universal will. And when that happens, doors open with surprising ease. Matthew 6 verse 33 reveals this secret. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. The kingdom of God is a state of consciousness where the good of all is the good of each. When you imagine from this expanded state, you are no longer competing for slices of a limited pie, you are co-creating an infinite abundance that benefits everyone. And finally, understand that imagination is not an escape from reality, but a deep engagement with reality at its most fundamental level. You are not denying problems, you are acknowledging that problems exist on the superficial level of appearances, but that there is a deeper level where all solutions already exist. When you imagine the solution with conviction, you pull that solution from the realm of possibilities into the realm of manifestation. Hebrews 11 verse 3 explains, "By faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible." The visible comes from the invisible. The manifest comes from the imagined. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are the invisible architect of all your experiences. And when you truly assimilate this truth, not intellectually, but viscerally, everything changes. Your posture changes. Your choices change. Your destiny changes. Because you finally understood who you truly are, an unlimited creative being, temporarily using a human body. So here's the final truth you need to engrave in your heart: everything I've shared in this video only has value if you apply it. Knowledge without application is spiritual entertainment. You can watch 1,000 videos about imagination, read 100 books about manifestation, study all the sacred scriptures, but if tonight you lay your head on the pillow and let your mind wander to worries, fears, and repetitions of the past, nothing will change. The difference between the life you have and the life you desire is simple: the images you hold in your mind before you sleep. Proverbs 23 verse 7 is not poetic philosophy, it's the physics of reality. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. You will not be what you wish to be. You will not be what you promise to be. You will be exactly what you imagine yourself to be, with feeling, consistently, in the stillness of your mind. Tonight, before you go to sleep, you have a choice. You can repeat the old mental patterns that created the reality you complain about, or you can plant a new seed in the fertile ground of your subconscious. A simple scene. A moment that implies the fulfillment of your desire. 5 minutes of disciplined imagination are worth more than 5 years of hard work in the wrong direction. And if you do this for 30 consecutive days, without skipping a single night, without letting doubts distract you, you will witness changes that the people around you will call luck, coincidence, or a miracle. But you will know it was none of that. It was the most powerful force in the universe working through you, the power of controlled imagination. As Mark 9 verse 23 promised, everything is possible for one who believes. And imagination is the language of belief. If this video impacted you, if something within you recognized this truth as your own forgotten truth, don't let that inspiration evaporate. Like this video so more people can find this message. Share it with someone who needs to remember the power within them. And subscribe to the channel, because I will continue to dissect these principles that the great masters taught, but that few truly understand. Remember, you are not learning something new. You are remembering who you have always been, an unlimited creator, made in the image and likeness of the Creator. Now go and consciously and deliberately create the life of your dreams. Your imagination is waiting for your orders. And the universe is waiting to conspire in your favor. Good night, and dream big.